Diego as well as having that strong AP damage, burst damage, if you will, coming in from the Ahri. Now, what becomes a little bit problematic for the side of Vanir is that I have found that drafts always been a little bit more difficult to execute. So here you've got a bunch of peel, you've got the Jhin, you've got the Vector, you've got the Zinzao, yeah. You've got a bunch of sustain, because you've got the shields again, you've got the shields with the Victor, yes. You have engaged, questionable. Not going to get into the back line, has to find the right angles. What really worries me, though, from the side of Vanir, is that you don't necessarily have that damage to take someone down really quickly. You don't have the consistent damage unless your Victor, unless Sahira reaches a full item Victor, where he's going to be shredding through anyone who's even remotely tanky like we've seen before.
Eyes on that then, because you're right, that Victor hits 3 items and it's a different story, but
Make it 4.
Yeah, honestly, potentially with how tanky certain members...
How late game all the Vanir games go.
Exactly, you know, depending on how late it goes, and it's true. Bifrost as well have been doing a lot of their wins in late game kind of scrambles, honestly. Some of that early flair we saw for them has gotten perhaps a touch more inconsistent over recent weeks. It's partly why this matchup getting a bit scarier, because Vanir as well have honestly been on a pretty steady rise through the rankings from being something of a no-name, perhaps I think unfairly.
A surprise, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they've stepped up to be a very consistent team, and a lot of that is on the backs of people like Noodle on the Jhin Zhao, who's done disgusting things in the early game, was 100% first blood rate on that as a player for the longest time. I think he's still at something like 75%, if my numbers are correct. And that
there's a first blood for Vanir. Noodle is definitely involved.
Exactly.
On the other hand, though, I'm just really excited to see, finally, for the love of League of Legends, Fury on a much more aggressive champion, on an assassin, on something like Ahri. It's very similar to his playstyle with the Akali, right? You can slide in, you can slide back out with the dashes, you can look to get the charm down on a very key target and assassinate them. This is much more of a champion that we're used to seeing Fury do really well on, especially since NLC's last season, where he was playing the Akalis and the Silases, and now yet again onto one of these a little bit more impactful in the early stages of the game, mid laners, I would say.
And it is a little bit of that slight comp difference, the front to back for Vanir, especially if they've got the Mega Gnar and say here on a couple items. Pretty scary when you throw down the curtain call and all the zone control you get with the Crescent Guard, with the gravity fields from Victor. Difficult to deal with, but Bifrost, between the Viego, the Ahri, the Dawning Shadow from across the map, with Shikari on the Camille, can make side laning so difficult. And Seaboy actually coming from an early gank down bot lane, trying to be as obnoxious as possible. Flash for that Spectral Maw, can't quite pair it up with the Abyssal Dive, but it will force Quixith to flash out.
Oi. Oh, that's dangerous, that's dangerous, that's dangerous. That's dangerous, because remember, Devour now is on a much higher cooldown. Devour right now is the ultimate for Tamken, so you don't have it until you are level 6. That means if Audi gets caught in a very sticky situation, all he has to save himself is his summoners. Talking about summoners, Flash being burnt from Quixith, also from Seaboy though. So it's a 1-for-1, you're betting Seaboy's Flash for the support Flash. It's pretty worth it right now for Vanir, and Shikari might be under a little bit of trouble. Of course, I don't think this wave in particular is very diveable, because you only have 3 range minutes to play through, but if you bring in 3 teammates, it's pretty diveable.
They're going to have a couple minions to work with. Shikari can't clear the minions. Here's a teleport. He's flashing away, staying alive best they can. The crunch secures the kill for Sahira. But now Noodle about to fall down. Flash for the charm across the minions. That was sleek.
Oh, that was absolutely nasty from Fury, and these are the plays we're expecting to see from the Bifrost mid laner. But talking about mid lane, take it down to bot, because Quixith has no flash.
He's got a chain, can just about walk away, but the flash for that auto secures a trade. And Bifrost make it a trade of kills. And actually, of course, without Fury picking up the kill on the top side, they actually come out in kill advantage here.
Actually, there's a lot of souls to play about. There's souls for the Viego, there's souls for the Senna. It's a very soul-y map right now that's happening. But again, this is a very thin wave. There's only 2 caster minions remaining, but it's not just 2 members from Vanir, it's 3 members. And by the time Fury lands from the teleport, his top lane is already dead. But this, oh my God.
it's sleek, it's
Mwah.
smooth, it's slick.
That was beautiful.
Love
That is fury. That is fury on these assassin type of champions that we love to see him. And again, but C-Boy used his flash to take Quix's flash, and here he's coming back in to cash in for his ADC, giving that Senna a bit of extra gold. This is not going to be a farming Senna, it's going to take a while. So banking in on these kills is just an extra cherry on top, I'd say.
Noodle, who's involved in the first blood, but it came at a cost, and C-Boy just returns the gank at the bottom.
They're pretty low HP. They're pretty low HP. Ooh,
Fury
Noodle.
doesn't actually have the level 6, but does manage to land a very key charm to stop himself being pincered. Noodle is forced out of the Dragon Pit. The last embrace goes wide, but the Abyssal Dive will make sure the Dragon doesn't completely reset.
Yep, this is a
Bifrost get it.
This is a thanks for the leash situation right here, / all chat.
Mantra Q.
There is no smite, there's no smite. Okay, smite just came out. Smite just came out for C-Boy. Very calculated right there. Well done to the Bifrost crew. Sprinted it straight down bot side of the map. As you can see, top side of the map is just spawning for the side of C-Boy and Zahira.
That's going to be trouble. He's just burst into Noodle, who was just waiting there. Special delivery. Noodle picks up a kill.
Okay. How many times are we going to say that Zahira is the target of a bunch of ganks and a bunch of tower dives?
I feel like we've said that a few times
if
before.
He's done something well, this split is managed them out. And Noodle, he's level 4, of course, versus level 6 of Fury. Doesn't unfortunately land the stun right there, which means that he doesn't get that extra damage onto Zahira from that spell and ends up going down by the hands of Noodle as well. So really well done right there from Noodle. Manages to grab, I'm not sure if we grabbed the kill of the assist right there, but we have another 1v1.
Okay, well, that's the ultimate down, but he'll just get out with the hook shot and manage to escape as Noodle was walking up the river, but C-Boy will now be there. Don't know whether they'll want to contest. Of course, there's a Herald coming, and Quixer takes so much damage. The double Abyssal Dive knocked up, not quite knocked down. The final auto won't do it. That is still enough healing. The renewal comes through from the W. And that is enough to keep Quixith alive.
Yeah,
W healing, OP.
Yeah, that Mantra W was so clutch and so crucial right there to put it onto duel, because he would have died otherwise. There was no heal to keep him alive. There's no defensive summoners onto that Karma anymore. But what does that do? It doesn't matter if you kill them or not, because you're putting down the pressure. You get a bounce of experience down the bot lane. You get to push another wave underneath the tower, which is a wave that Kevo is going to miss in experience and gold and CS, of course. And then you're banking in onto that Tower Platinum as well. Now, C-Boy is looking for Zahira in the mid lane, who, by the way, did not use his flash in that last dive from Fury. So yes, even though we like to see Fury a little bit aggressive,
Ult's nearly up.
on this particular champion, you gotta land the skill shots.
Ult's nearly up. You can see available now. Can think about it. There is the Harrow path. Going to go forwards. Charm misses, but they land the stun anyway. Flash away from Zahira, and he'll get out alive.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Tell me.
You gotta wait for your Viego to try and land the stun first. Because once you've tried to land the stun, you also have flash from C-Boy, but you can also get a pretty easy taunt after that from Fury. So a little bit of miscommunication right there, coming in from the mid-juggle duo by Bifrost. They do manage to get Zahira's, however, flash, but at this particular point it doesn't matter, because Vanir again are really fast on the rotations. They've rotated the bot lane into the mid side of the map to try and secure that Rift Herald and push C-Boy back into his jungle.
And of course, you're doing it versus Senna Tahm Kench, who are not exactly known for their turret-taking prowess. I'm sure there'll be a Demolish perhaps somewhere in Duel's rune selections, but it's going to be pretty difficult as Nile about to hit Meganar. Can maybe look for the kill here. Noodle's coming up, but C-Boy will be around. That's a stun into the wall. Does have the Hextech ultimatum, but I'm not sure they'll have time to use it. And Shikari falls for the second time in top.
He was 2 seconds away from having his flash available. He was a couple of seconds from having his ultimate available. Very well calculated by Nila and Noodle to punish that Camille before the summoner is up and before the ultimate is up. Very, very well done. And as you said it from the bot side of the map, they're not known for taking the tower really fast, but that is yet another tower plating that goes to the side of Odi and Duel.
We're left with a very close game. It's about 200 apart. The Herald and inventory is gold to go into somebody's pocket. Should be, depending on setups, relatively guaranteed. Hard to deny a first Herald push if you've set up correctly. Question is, where do they want to put it? Do they want to continue pushing against Shikari, who seems to be a lot of the sort of recipient of the early pressure from Noodle and crew?
I would say at this point, you have a very easy lane to play through, which is most likely your top side of the map. Start getting Nila ahead. He's about 30 CS up onto that Camille.
Absolutely.
Start choking down that Camille. Do not allow her to breathe at all. And snowball you now on a side lane. Sahira is going to be the recipient of yet another gank. He doesn't have flash this time.
That's a great turnaround to make Fury's life difficult. He can't get in over the gravity field.
Sahira, you're so good at absorbing pressure. What is this?
Playing it so well. Fury just couldn't find a way over the tower, and that Chaos Storm did its job. And in turn, Sahira weathers the storm. They'll back out. Noodle was around to shield as well. And Sahira survives, I think, his third attempt that they've made with Bifrost to try and get a hold of that Victor.
And honestly, it's very difficult. You're playing Victor, you're extremely immobile, you don't have a flash available, there's Spirit Rush on Fury, and Seaboy has his flash available. They have so many tools to pin you down and punish you, and it hasn't worked for Seaboy and Fury. They've put attempt down to attempt, down to attempt. Unfortunately, it has not worked for them. I think Rift Herald might actually end up going down in the mid lane as well right here, because Dragon is coming up. So if you put that as a point of pressure in the mid side, you can actually push into that river.
Trying to turn this one. Kevo's going to get rooted. They're going to go in underneath. That's the knock up. Here comes Seaboy, going to continue trying to trade. There's a devour afterwards, and they can try and throw him back too soon. Here comes the rest of Vanir. The trade continues. Jewel flashing in to try and get the kill at the bottom. Fury has got Sahira at the top side. Noodle about to fall as well. The resets come through, and Bifrost chain them all together. The Dawning Shadow comes on to Quicksith, and that'll be a double for the Tom Kent, who is feeding well in the bot side.
Boom! Support who, baby? That was a solo bolo onto Kevo, and takes Quicksith's life as well. And this is where the playmaking comes through. When Vanir starts splitting up, when they don't play the front to back that you mentioned at the start of the game as well, when they don't utilize all this peeling and shielding and speeding that they do have their advantage to peel backwards, and yet they're spread thin around the map, this is where assassins like Arya coming in. This is where clutch champions like Viego come in. This is where the resets start hitting, giving more dashes to Fury, giving more HP to Seaboy, giving more stacks onto that ultimate to Seaboy as well. Again, you see, Kevo is in
so
pretty dash, trace down the bot side of the map, has to pop the heal, has to pop the flash, and then also has to deal with duel. Now, Vanir is split into two playgrounds right here. They're trying to evade the Tom Kent, which takes Quicksith away from the equation and leaves only Noodle together with Sahira.
What is going on here?
Three members from Bifrost.
They're going to go again. Nile's in trouble. They're going to try and get away. The charm goes wide, but they continue trying to hunt. Duel has Abyssal dived over the wall, but that will be the end of that. Bifrost ward off another attempt on Shikari, who's staying just alive right now.
Fury needs an Everfrost at this point.
He's got to be getting close, surely. I'm not
Pin them down so you can land the taunt.
Yeah, he needs to get a hold of that charm. The Herald now comes down in mid lane, but I wonder whether they could have used it in those earlier plays. And while the likes of Senna and Tarnkage aren't known for their shoving, they've still got first tower bot. They're still being able to play this lane aggressively with the combo of the last embrace and the Abyssal dive to knock up Kevo and Quicksith. They'll get some plates in mid. Will Vanir to kind of pull this goal back a little bit, but it's still a 2,000 gold lead to Bifrost, largely around the ability for Odie and Duel to offer pressure.
Yeah, that was a really nice quick play though from Vanir. You put down the Rift Herald, you cash in on 3 platings whilst your Zinzao is invading red buff. He managed to grab the red buff as well. So you're invading the jungle, you're putting down some of your deep vision as you can see over the top side of the map, and you also cash in on 3 of the tower platings in the mid lane. Opening that mid lane tower is always very, very important, especially when you want to move towards the neutral objectives, which are in the river, so you can further your vision into opponent territory. So it was a really quick, good play for Vanir to take some money back real quickly without any consequences.
That was important for them to try and stay in this game, because actually the gold lead has expanded right now for Bifrost. They've got 2 dragons to their name as well. It's an Ocean Soul versus a Viego who's going to be healing up versus a Senna who's already offering the healing and a fair amount of poke. It could get a little difficult if you end up in this position.
Here is where Vanir is kind of screwed if that Ocean Soul goes to Bifrost. Vanir is not necessarily a high burst team. Again, unless that Victor gets to 3 to 4 items where he can one-shot potentially someone who dives in, then yes. But prior to that, you're playing peel. You're moving backwards. You don't necessarily have the easiest engages, the easiest way in, unless Nila finds a fantastic flank. And then even if he does, you've got the Tam Kents right there with a bunch of peeling. He's got the Devour. You've got the Senna as well that can provide a bunch he can provide invisibilities, he can provide it with slows and heals and everything. So it's really difficult to dive the backline and manage to find a kill. So if anything, it's going to be Bifrost diving into Vanir, and then Vanir one-shotting someone with Sahira's Victor once the time comes much later on.
Exactly.
Much later on, though, is not going to be
Right
in
now.
7 minutes.
No.
If Bifrost do secure this soul point, and in 7 minutes it's time for soul, then all this damage and the poke that they're going to be doing with the Karma, the Victor, and the Jhin is going to be getting healed up through these back and forths.
It absolutely will. And between Senna and the Ocean Soul, you're never going to poke people down, ever. It has to be.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was Vanir again that lost. With the Xerath that lost versus the Ocean Soul.
This is Riddle. I believe it was. It was a mental game. We had the Xerath there from Sahira, and they hit this point where they just couldn't do enough poke. And
you were doing poke, but then it was healed up, so you used all of your ultimates, you used all your abilities, and then opponents were able to push in. So we need to wait and see if Bifrost's not going to secure here the soul point, because it's going to be very dire if that Ocean Soul actually goes to Bifrost.
Vanir, of course, if they can set up in the river and secure control, have got a lot of ways to control space between the Karma and the Victor and, you know, Jhin and a Meganar being able to stand in front and make things, or rather than Meganar stand in front, not the Jhin, clarify that, to be able to control space. But at the minute they don't have that, and they're going to struggle to do that, and then you're into a team of Bifrost, as you've already said, have all the pick in the world between Ahri and Viego. Literally every one of those champions can pick someone off, can dive onto you and make your life very, very difficult. So you do not want to face check. And Bifrost are in a position with the way the map is controlled, with the way they've stacked dragons already, to force Vanir to do exactly that, and that is a very difficult position to be in.
Also, major props to Bifrost for all the bot lane pressure that they have exerted with the Senna Tam Kent, already making Senna actually look like a pretty good pick. Duel has to flash, of course, that because it's going to be a lot of damage, and if you're stunned right there, you won't be able to pop the Grey Health, but that is Sahira's ultimate gone, and with Sahira's ultimate gone, you won't be able to find soul points. So Bifrost are just going to very easily pop down the Rift Herald, move down the river, try to secure soul point.
I thought there with the last Embrace landing that Sahira might be dived onto, but Bifrost go, no, we put down the Herald, it bought us pressure, and that will be enough for us to secure Ocean Soul point without any contest. And we're going to see now that was still a little bit of pressure in the mid lane from Vanir. They don't manage to secure that, though, and all the while, you're seeing Nile shoving at this top side. Fury was there to hold on, and he's going to prevent the Gnar from getting too much more. In the 4v4, Bifrost come on top, they'll shove into mid lane and try and maybe put a bit of pressure onto this tower themselves. But with Vanir around, not sure quite how easy this be, but they might just chase Kevo off here. Difficult to walk up to all of the pick we've already mentioned.
It's just all the safety as well, right? You go forward, you have a Devour. You move further forward, then everyone is invisible because of Senna. You go further forward, you've got charms, you've got stuns, you've got lockups from Shikari as well. It's just so difficult to try and find your way into Bifrost's composition, especially because you do not necessarily have any heavy dive or heavy hard engage.
Gale Force popped there to stop the last Embrace coming through. Curtain Call now being used defensively. The tower still falls. Is there going to be any other follow-up? I'm not sure how easy it is, especially with
here's around.
Oh, good charm from Fury. Prevents Sahira getting in too much easier. Nearly rooted in place by the last Embrace. And all the while, Shikari shoving out the top side, and Vanir pulled a couple ultimates but can't make it happen. And they get the tower and get out to Bifrost.
And that is mission complete. Now, second, this mid lane tower is down. Everyone from Vanir that wants to farm in the mid lane is not safe. When Fury's around, when Seaboy's around, when Shikari's around, that can jump from literally a screen away, you cannot have the luxury of pushing your wave too far forward without any assistance. So I think Vanir need to really heavily invest into vision. They really need to heavily play around the vision. It's going to be very difficult. You see how Noodle has to be around for Kevo to push in that wave. You see how Quixote had to be there, and of course you've got to help that mid lane wave to be pushed again because the tower is not there. So if you do get chased down, it's going to be a little bit rough to get away.
It is, and the investment into Nile early got him that early hull break. He can shove up well enough, but it's not winning you objective fights as this Gnar right now. And all the while, the even greater advantage that Odie and Duel got, despite the the potential problematics of the lane we kind of mentioned over on the desk before the game hasn't played out. They're now super strong. You're looking at nearly a 2-item center with that Spectral Sictor incomplete. You can see the gold is still pretty well for a non-farming center, and that Tahm Kench is mighty ahead of Quickseth. Understandably, it is pretty scary right now.
So here's the issue, right? We're like, if Sahira gets the 3 to 4 items, he can possibly one-shot somebody diving in. We have seen real Victor damage later on in the stage of the game. The problem is, you're not going to get to 3 items, buddy. In less than 2.5 minutes, Ocean Soul is going to spawn. So the second you try to put down your poke damage, which is not even yet there, because all you have is Ludens into 1.5 to 2 items from the side of Bifrost, then that damage all Bifrost has to do is move out of the fight a little bit, heal up, and then come back in, and once you've used all of your abilities, they can just start advancing again. So it becomes a really difficult game for Vanir to play because, again, they do not have consistent damage. Their carry down the bot lane is not a hyper carry. They're playing a Jhin. They're playing more of a facilitator marksman. The mid laner, yes, does a lot of damage, but it's into burst mode. You put down your burst, you use your abilities, you're done.
It's that point when in all chat you just put, don't worry, we scale. That's basically where you're at. Like, if Jhin and Sahira get to 3-4,
to be honest, you can't even say we scaled versus Senna, because Senna and Veigar are one of these champions, and Cho'Gath, that are ever scaling.
Yeah, Camille's going to get pretty scary as well in the later game, where you suddenly have a split push threat that's going to be quite difficult to deal with. And yes, the 5v5s get easier, but if you've lost control of the map, you're still walking into all of the pick in the world. I keep mentioning it, every single champion can jump on the face checker, and I don't think you survive that as Vanir, like, flat out.
And honestly, I just really do admire how slow Bifrost have been playing this game. It's very slow, very calculated. You don't necessarily need to blow up the gold lead right here, because as you mentioned, you've got the scaling, you've got the easier composition to play around. You do have the center that later on is going to be impossible to deal with. No one's going to be able to get anywhere near you with all the range that you have. You hit them once, you take half of their HP, then somebody else dives in and finishes the deal, right? So you don't necessarily have to rush anything. Yes, it's on a 2,000 gold lead, but once that Ocean Soul goes down, it's going to be just opening and opening. Unless Vanir can somehow manage to find a peak, they need to find someone now. They need to kill someone now so they can create this into a 4v5 and hope that they will take the soul away. Because again, if the soul goes to Vanir, to Bifrost, all they're doing right now, they're looking for duel.
But he takes so much damage. There goes Seaboy's forced away by the Crescent Guard. Odie 2 is taken pretty low. He's going to try and heal up with the Honey Fruit. Not going to need to devour him, but the teleport's coming through Fury. He needs to get over the wall, has to flash over. That's a big deal. That will not be available now for the Ocean Soul.
But they did it. Fight. They did it. They pushed Fury away. They took his flash. Now Fury has to back and TP back in.
That's going to be the heal back out. So
where's he going to TP?
They're going to think about TPing. Noodles, remember, got no Crescent Guard. Can still keep chasing. Seaboy going to get rooted in place. They might be able to kill him. He needs to flash out. There's the teleport. Quickseth in trouble. The Abyssal Dive gets a knock-up onto the Karma. Not the biggest, get the Devour, and that will be the kill. In goes Seaboy again. The flash in from Shikari secures another. It's a turnaround. The jungler is traded. Nearly at Mega. Will he transform? Gets the massive Mega! And Vanir, who needs the items? You can still keep trading. Odie, still alive. Gonna Abyssal Dive out of the way is Duel to try and keep trading. Fury trying his damnedest to stay alive. Will not be able to do it. And Noodle, who needs an ultimate? Who needs anything else? You could just win the fight regardless.
He's mini.
But look, here comes Odie. Gonna try and come back in. They can try and play it. This bot lane 2v2 that was so dominant in the early game can start turning the fight around again. The hop over, but the Abyssal Dive gets the knock-up, and Odie's alive!
Odie and Duel, baby! The bot lane for Bifrost since minute 0 that they entered the Rift. 2-0-8. 5-0-3. They cannot die. Duel is bossing Vanir around.
That's another last embrace. Wait, they can something about stealing it. Duel's going to go in, but he's into the gravity field. And suddenly that means the Ocean Soul is still not done. Shikari's here. Back in. He will be able to secure with precision code wall. Seaboy has returned. The Chaos Storm gets Yoni. The moment we try to praise them, they're still not going to be able to do it as Shikari and Seaboy do lock down the Ocean Soul. The last gasp from Vanir does not work. But my days, did they make Bifrost work for it?
Whoa!
What's cut out? Try this replay.
We mentioned that Vanir needed a pick. They needed to make this 4v5 because they cannot fight this front to back. That Bifrost bot lane is actually their nemesis. Duel walks into them. eats Quickseth, kills Quickseth. Bifrost is keeping the rest zoned away. Kevo cannot walk too far forward. A huge Mega Gnar from Nile going down here, but the very crucial thing is that Odi survives with minimal HP, and that is enough, because when Fury goes down, Duel is so darn strong onto this Tam Kench that Odi has a time to go back, heal himself up with his Q, and of course the other Ocean Dragon that they have on their back, and then they end up winning the 2v2. Nile also goes down to Minina, which is much easier to kill, and honestly, the Bifrost bot lane have been stellar so far. So here, of course, versus squishy targets and versus a Tam Kench that's very low HP and couldn't pop the grey health right there. He's very, very strong, and he's gonna end up taking both down, but this fight has gone on for so long. Seaboy has managed to run from base. Shikari is back up and available again. And TP's in.
It's not done. Out of the one frying pan and into the fire. Seaboy gets that one. 14 kills to 8 now is the kill score. Trinity Force, that of course on Gnar, by the way. I was looking at Seaboy's items and got caught out. Viego.
Is that another jungle with Hullbreaker?
Is it a jungle? It's time. Not going to be quite that. It is still actually a Trinity Force on Seaboy anyway, so I was right to begin with. Still Duel got caught in place. Not going to get out. He's might well die, but he's so tanky.
He's abandoned.
What the hell? He's still going to fall out. It just takes longer.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an overextension. We mentioned how Bifrost is playing this game is slow and easy because they know they outscale, they know they have the better front to back. But right now, if Vanir keep making picks like this, with Camille on the bottom of the map and Ari on the top side of the map, then they have the freedom to push in the Senna however they want. And they're going to cash in not only on on Duel and get his shutdown, but also that very important tier 1 mid lane that we've been talking about a lot. Now,
quick one before you do keep going. Look at Odie's soul stack. That's 98 souls at 25 minutes. He's getting incredibly scary right now. And you said that we're scaling for Senna. That's pretty much over the 70 soul mark.
The most ever scaling champion together with Veigar and Cho'Gath. They keep stacking, and it just never ends. So if we want to talk scaling, if we want to talk damage, if we want to talk range, Odie's Senna is one of those. And because Duel is playing the farming Kench, he has the teleport and he's running straight into Baron.
Seaboy takes so much damage from the Curtain Call, and Sahira, who needs 4 items when a Shadow Flame will do that. Now the Baron has been reset, but Vanir won't go back and start it. Seaboy will get to reset, and Bifrost won't fall down.
Vanir are looking for a pick right here because Nile is Mega Gnar, and they need to use it now that it's hot. And again, Vanir have to look for a pick every single time before they make a move for a fight, because they cannot win the 5v5. You see how strong Bifrost's bot lane is?
That's pretty big. But Sahira, they can't quite finish it because the gravity field comes down. Remember, this is a 4v5. Seaboy is not here. He had to heal up. Shikari taken so low. The renewal's going to come through. Stays alive, though. Noodle is going to fall down, and Fury is here alongside Seaboy. The charm lands. Watch at the back of it all. They won't be able to quite finish it up. And Vanir managed to extricate themselves with a well-timed defiance from Quickseth alongside the flash, but the jungler is dead, and that means Baron time.
It's just so difficult because you can't find a way in on a straight stare down. 5 versus 5. Vanir's way in is just so obvious. You just go straight in with the Zinza. Noodle got punished. There is no smite. Vanir want to fight this. Can they steal?
Ocean Soul means their HP bar is still at full. Nile is here, but a long way off Mega. Where's the turn? Shikari misses the hook shot. The renewal won't land. There is the Baron secured, and now Bifrost might still look for the fight. They're being hunted. Vanir. The Black Mist is down. A flash. Spectral Maw secures a kill for Odie. The Abyssal Dive will just go wide. The sidesteps there. Gravity comes down. It won't punish Duel enough this time. There is the Chaos Storm to force Seaboy to Heartbreaker away. A minute and a half till Elder Dragon, but Bifrost will have the Baron buff to shove waves and set up for that Uber objective.
And again, you have the 1-3-1 going on as well for you. You've got teleport onto the Ari that can push in the lane with the Baron. But yet again, you see how on a 5 versus 5, in a 4 versus 5 right here for Bifrost, if you're attacking them head on, they have the way to peel backwards. Boom! Senna ultimate. Everyone is shielded. Q. Everyone is healed. You want invisibility, you have that too. They cannot target you. And then Seaboy had the time to get out. Remember that Ocean Soul? Yeah, it helped him heal up. He didn't even go back to his base. He used his smite, he healed up from Ocean Soul, and he came back for the fight. So you see now how crucial and important that Ocean Soul was for them. They just walk out, heal up, come back in.
And I feel like time is running short for Vanir. Yes, Sahira is doing a fair amount of damage, but there's a Hex Drinker now in for C-Boy. That's making him harder to kill. Look at the items in for the likes of this Senna, as we said, who has been scaling away. 30 seconds until Elder Dragon. Ari shoving in the bot side, and Vanir, it is getting to last gasps. They are running out of oxygen. They are drowning in this game, courtesy of an Ocean Soul and all the scaling in the world.
And obviously here, when you're pushed into one lane as well, everyone is trying to fight for that CS. Everyone is trying to finish items to try and put more damage down, but then you're all sharing the same amount of gold. Everyone is trying to fight with each other on who's going to get that last item, and in 2 seconds, Elder Soul is up. The entire bot side jungle belongs to Bifrost, and unless Vanir can make a pick here...
Find the Mega Gnar onto 2. Odie's about to fall. They've got him, but look at the other side. Shikari has made a trade onto Sahira. Cabo left so far away, and Fury gets it. They thought they found the pick with the turnaround, so there's a Spirit Rush. Charge still available. Noodle gonna get taken down into the GA. Fury over the wall, gets the double. That'll be a reset on the ultimate. Nile needs to get away, but there is no Mega, no way out. A triple for the Ari. Are you not entertained? Nymera will be best, please.
Ooh.
And the souls are stolen.
Fury on Assassins, baby. Give me that any day of the week. The guy is back with vengeance. They've got an entire wave on the bottom of the map. They've got Baron buff still up and available. They've got 4 members still alive, and the entirety of the Vanir is watching 50s television, baby. Black and white.
Look at Bifrost. They move to 9-4. They move 2 games clear into 3rd place. They win the 2-0 head-to-head against Vanir. It is a gorgeous game, and they are absolutely the victors.
Honestly, what a